November 25th.
The biggest offenders here are large corporate landlords that are not building new buildings. They're coming in, they are jacking up rent, and they're taking profits out of the province.
The Saskatchewan NDP have formally introduced rent control legislation through a private member's bill.
We're losing people. They're falling through the cracks because of judgment, because of shame.
Saskatchewan is facing a surge in drug overdoses, with a recovering addict who is now a frontline worker calling for urgent action.
Agribition is the salt of Saskatchewan.
Canadian Western Agribition officially underway in the Queen City. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Janelle Lippi. Thanks for starting your day with us.
Man, this is exciting. This is fun. We get to be friends.
I know.
Yesterday you were down at Agribition. What was your favorite animal?
Oh, I loved the alpacas.
You and camera lady Ashley, all about the alpacas.
We had a great time.
I had a couple of friends that took groups of 4 and 5-year-olds down there yesterday.
Oh.
God bless you. Doing great work. We'll get to your forecast in just a minute. I know there's a lot of snow in the southern part of the province. Let's get to news for this part of the hour. An announcement on a new pipeline running from Alberta to BC could be coming soon.
And I really hope that we will have an agreement ready and available to be released soon.
Sources tell CTV News Prime Minister Mark Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith could announce a deal on a memorandum of understanding this week. We're hearing from the Prime Minister's office that he will be in Calgary on Thursday. BC Premier David Eby says it's unacceptable that his province has been cut out of talks.
It's not something that would happen to Quebec. This is not something that would happen to other provinces in the Federation. I don't know why. The thought was that it would be okay for it to happen in British Columbia.
The Premier says he spoke with the Prime Minister yesterday and made it clear that he expects BC to be part of talks going forward. The Premier also said it's essential that coastal First Nations be at the table as well. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe says the province will not be a signatory on the pipeline memorandum of understanding. He also shared his reaction to Eby's response to the pipeline.
I'm really disappointed that, an NDP premier would, start, thinking that this conversation is either or. It's either his projects or someone else's, and always advocating that it should be his. That's, it's disappointing. If we, truly want to move forward as Canadians and, not only claim to be on Team Canada, but actually be on Team Canada, we need to be supportive of every project in every industry in every province across this nation.
Continue to gather reaction to that. In the meantime, we are continuing to gather more reaction this week as the Regina City Administration released its 2026-27 budget, which includes a projected 15.6 to 15.9% mill rate increase. As the city looks for ways to cut costs, some organizations worry their funding could be reduced.
In every government, there's sometimes change that needs to happen. However, we're confident the city will make the right choices, understanding that the money that they're investing is going towards the community.
The conservatory, the Flower Conservatory, is requesting $20,000 in city grant funding as part of plans for a new building. But the request appeared on a list of potential budget cuts presented to councillors as the city looks for ways to save money. While some councillors say not every expense on the list will be trimmed, nothing is off the table as Regina works to remain one of Canada's, they say, most affordable cities to live in.
Change is more important than cut. We talk to our community groups, we talk to our partnerships, we talk to everyone involved, right? And so far, no one is really opposed to spending a little bit more for critical infrastructure.
I understand that residents are frustrated. I'm frustrated too. We got ourselves into this mess by not thinking ahead. But if folks are mad with an increase, wait to see what will happen if we start cutting things like outdoor hockey rinks and community centers and snow removal.
The forecasted mill rate increase is not final. Deliberations begin on December 15th when a final budget is expected to be approved. And they're talking budget in Saskatoon as well. Jeremy Dodge, we'll turn things over to you.
Thank you, Daryl. 'Tis the season, all right. And the stage is set for Saskatoon City Councillors to finalize the city's budget for the next 2 years. Councillors will spend 3 or more days reviewing over 100 ways to reduce the upcoming property tax hike. City administration has already cut the preliminary 8.2% increase down to 7.4% after finalizing assessment growth. For now, the 2027 tax hike is set at 5.9%, with property taxes up nearly 15% over the past 3 years. Some are calling for more sustainable increases going forward.
If we do not change course, these increases will outpace the capacity of the average business owner to pay them or pass them on. And that means we have economic stagnation in this city. And then we are in real trouble.
Councillors will need to eliminate $3.3 million to decrease the property tax hike by 1%. Health officials are warning of a measles exposure risk following confirmed cases in Saskatoon. The Saskatchewan Health Authority says if you were at any of these businesses, Princess Auto, Crazy Bins, or Once Upon a Child, 2 weeks ago on November 10th, monitor for measles symptoms. Call the health line if you were exposed and unvaccinated. Symptoms include fever, cough, red blotchy rash, and small white spots inside your mouth. Well, Daryl, Russia and Ukraine trading strikes overnight.
That's right. They did trade attacks. Kyiv's mayor says at least 6 people were killed when Russian drones hit an apartment building. Ukrainian officials also say Russia targeted its energy infrastructure. Officials in western Russia say 3 people were killed during an attack from Ukraine. There was liftoff this morning in China as they launched a spacecraft to bring back a team of astronauts who have been stranded. The unmanned spacecraft has already docked at China's Tiangong space station, where 3 astronauts had temporarily been stranded. They were left without a way back to Earth after their return capsule was deemed unfit to fly because of a cracked window. The spacecraft will now remain docked until around April 2026, when it will be used to transport the crew back to Earth. Police were called to a Saskatoon parking lot Sunday for a report of a gunshot. Officers say it happened just before 10 o'clock in the 600 block of Avenue X South. An 18-year-old man from Prince Albert was arrested in a dog park nearby. Police say the gun used was in the man's possession. He's now facing 6 charges, including obstruction and intentionally discharging a firearm. And police are also investigating a Saskatoon stabbing that happened Sunday. Police called to the 300 block of 20th Street West for a report of a man injured in front of a business. Officers say a 37-year-old man was suffering from stab wounds. He was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police believe the stabbing happened on Avenue D South and continue to investigate. Wanuskewin Heritage Park has won a national award for Indigenous tourism. 2025 Canadian Tourism Awards were held last week in Gatineau, Quebec, honoring the best in a range of categories in the industry. Now, Wanuskewin was the winner of the Indigenous Tourism Award for excellence in delivering authentic, innovative, and meaningful cultural experiences. Saskatchewan had 9 finalists across a number of categories, a record-setting year for the province. Wanuskewin says the award helps fuel its journey toward a UNESCO World Heritage designation. We will turn our attention towards whether we are having a problem right now with our ticker, that bar. It will come back. For right now, we're going to have to rely exclusively on the words from Janelle Lippi for our weather forecast. Janelle.
That's right. Well, good news for today. We aren't expecting to see any flurries. We did get that little bit of snow last night. Now, today, still seeing higher wind speeds and some cooler temperatures, but again, still above seasonal. Now, current 6, hello, -6 here in Regina. Now, once that sun does start to come up, we will see those clouds still in the sky. Those aren't expected to lighten up much. We'll get more into that coming up. And now over to Saskatoon, -12. Once that sun does rise, a little bit more sunshine over our Saskatoon friends than what we're seeing right here in Regina. Now, let's take a look over at our radar and our satellite. You can see a little bit of a system moving through. This was last night with some of those flurries going through Regina. Now, today, again, we aren't expecting to see anything for flurries for the most part. However, those clouds will be moving through. A little bit of a cloudier week, and coming up on Friday is when we'll start to see some of that snow returning. Now, current temperatures across the province: Stony Rapids and Buffalo Narrows -7. We've got Larange and South End -5. Nipawin -6. Hudson Bay -7. The Battleford's -8. Kindersley and Swift Current -12. Yorkton over here at -5, and we've got Wynyard -4. Now for our highs today across Saskatchewan, the Battleford seeing about -6, Prince Albert -4, Yorkton -3, seeing those clouds still in the sky, Estevan -2, seeing a little bit of snowfall coming later on today, in Swift Current -3. Now for our 7-day forecast right here in Regina, -2 as our high for today. Now by this evening, we're getting into that -13 territory. So it is going to be getting a little bit chillier here in the evenings, as we can see here. Now through Thursday, again, a little bit of cloud cover in the sky. Friday is when we start to see that snow returning. Over the weekend, however, some sunshine coming our way. We'll be starting off next week with -12. Over to Saskatoon, -3 as the high for today. Seeing a little bit of that sun sticking around up until Thursday. -9, we'll start to see those clouds coming back in. Those are expected to last throughout the weekend. Starting off Monday, a brand new week with a little bit of sunshine and -12.
Young gymnasts walking for a cause on their hands.
To date, we've walked over 35 miles on our hands.
Karen Freiberger and Handstand Walk for Kids have raised more than $1 million for pediatric cancer research during the past 5 years, with these handstand walks being held at gyms across the country. Over the weekend in Brooklyn, this former college gymnast even went upside down herself as her team held their final event of the year.
It's a really big community effort to really try to change the outcomes for kids and support families in some of their darkest moments.
Karen and her 7-year-old daughter, Eloise, certainly know about those dark moments.
This way?
When Eloise was 2, she was diagnosed with a form of kidney cancer and underwent multiple surgeries and rounds of chemo.
This will be coming up 5 years cancer-free, and we're so excited to celebrate the milestone.
Wow, look at that smile.
Along the way, they've gotten big-time help from dedicated high school gymnasts like Galena here, who's now in college.
I believe that cancer shouldn't take over children's lives, and this is why we advocate.
Absolutely stunning.
And former national champion at UCLA, Peng Lee, who also qualified for the Olympics in 2012.
You know, being retired and out of the community, but being a part of a new one was very touching.
Well, at each event, that growing community makes sure to honor the people they're handstand walking for. And at that final event of the year on Friday, the gymnasts even took time to make a video for a young girl named Sienna who's currently battling cancer. They wanted to let her know, you've got this.
So over the past 5 years, they have had more than 1,000 handstand walking volunteers across 13 states. And now they're about to have one more. No, I can't do handstand. I'm sorry. I'm going to practice just for them, and then maybe I'll do one with them next year. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
In case you missed it, today marks day 2 of the Canadian Western Agribition. Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, Bernadette McIntyre, did this year's ceremonial burning of the brand to kick
like
off
a pro. Look at her.
Agribition Week. That was fantastic.
Wow.
So the event features livestock shows, rodeo vendors, and hands-on agricultural education.
Agribition is the salt of Saskatchewan. It is, as our rodeo queen said, it depicts everything that's wonderful about Saskatchewan. The history of agriculture goes hundreds of years back, and it includes everyone.
Canadian Western Agribition runs in Regina through Saturday.
Western Canada's biggest livestock show brings us to our question of the day. It's a fairly obvious one, Janelle.
That's right. What is your favorite part of Agribition? We want to hear from you. So you can send us a text at 10400, standard message and data rates may apply, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Daryl, what's your favorite?
For me, it's the educational component.
Love
Teaching kids farm to plate, right? That's my favorite. It's not riding steer, because Jeremy, you've probably never seen the video, but I lasted 3.5 seconds on a steer, and I think 2 of that was just hang time. Before
but it's all about
bruised for a week.
Trying it.
Yes.
You did it. You gave it a shot, and that's the win.
I'll see if I can dig up the video. What's your favorite, JD?
Well, I've never been.
No? Okay.
But,
Fair enough.
I mean, we have crop production show here. We have Ag in Motion in the spring, which is great. But I think it doesn't quite have the stuff for the kids, as far as I know, that Agribition seems to. So I'm gonna mirror your answer, Daryl. The educational aspect.
There's the QR code. Scan that. Send us your answers. We're going to take a look over the city of Bridges. We're back in 2 minutes with more of your news for today.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And this comes from a bizarre incident in the Premier League. Everton taking on Manchester United. In the 13th minute here, Everton's Idrissa Gueye turns it over. So that leads to a great chance for Bruno Fernandes. But it's what happened afterwards. Gueye gets into it with his teammate, Michael Keane. He gives Gueye a couple of shoves. And then in retaliation, he slaps him in the face. Wild. Gueye actually given a straight red card for the slap. Marks the first time since 2008 a player in the Premier League has been kicked out for misconduct against his own teammate. But despite going down to 10 men, Everton actually won the match 1-0. That right there, your must-see moment. Bananas. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, it is game 1 of the CHL versus USA Prospects Challenge. Pre-game coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a fantastic day.
All right, let's head out and check in with Mike Siona, see what he's getting up to this morning. And I know that once again, he's got sports on the brain. Mike?
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Bolt Classic is upon us this weekend, and so we're here with Jack Ledson and Coach Green of the, I almost called you guys Bethlehem, but that would be a wrong statement. Same complex, different gym. We're at Tommy Douglas. You should think I'd be able to figure it out off all the walls. The Tommy Douglas Tigers. Hopefully that's the biggest mistake that happens here on this floor. Coach, talk to me about Bolt and how exciting it is.
Well, we're really excited to have Bolt starting up. We got 24 teams coming in, and it's this preseason tournament, so it's a chance for us to practice our stuff, get out and compete against teams of equal ability, and hopefully we'll have a great weekend.
No doubt about it. Now, this is third year for you, grade 12 student. What's it like when this place gets packed and you get to play in front of the home school?
I mean, I kind of just feed off the energy, right? I love having the crowd come out, supporting us. Just kind of makes myself and the team play a whole lot better. So, I mean, yeah.
Fantastic. I absolutely love that. Let's stick with you guys. What's the expectation here? Are we in this to win this, or are we just out here for a little jog and to get ready for the season?
I mean, 100% we're trying to win, right? First team meeting we had, our goal was to, win this tournament and then eventually move on, win a city championship. So I guess the ultimate goal right now is to win this tournament. So
fantastic. Well, I love that. Now, in total, across 4 divisions, boys and girls, there are, 24 teams?
24 teams. 12 girls team, 12 boys team. We're all equally matched and slotted into different pools, which will then play over each other for championships, second and third places.
Fantastic. I love that. It is tremendous. It's a surefire sign that, unfortunately, colder weather is coming because the Bolt Classic is here. It is going to be absolutely tremendous here at Tommy and then just down the hallway at Bethlehem as well.
All right, basketball season in full swing, Mike. Looking forward to seeing more throughout the morning.
All right, let's take a look over at our school day forecast brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. In Regina, by the time you get onto the bus, -6, you might want to grab a coat, and by lunchtime, -4, starting to see a little bit more sunshine coming out. Now, about 3 p.m. final bell is when you will see -2, little bit more sunshine, but still that cloud cover. Now, over to Saskatoon, by the time you get onto the bus, -12, again, coats, maybe toques and mitts even. By lunch, -5, final bell -3, starting to see some of that sunshine peek out. As we go into the break, here is a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $129.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $109.9. And in Saskatoon, common cost is $127.9, and the lowest you might find is $115.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola is $583.02 per ton, and the futures price is $642.20 per ton. Now, amber durum wheat is $285.94 per ton, and red spring wheat is $250.89 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.88 cents US. After the break, the NDP proposing rent control legislation, what that could mean for renters.
On your morning, thank you for being with us. We begin with this. When Mark Carney, the Prime Minister, was asked when he last spoke to U.S. President Donald Trump, he said, "Who cares?" That was a couple days ago. Today, we're hearing he may actually be considering a trip to Washington.
I mean, it's a detail. It's a detail. I spoke to him. I'll speak to him again when it matters. So we're busy. He's got other things to do, and we'll re-engage when it's appropriate.
That was Carney's response to the question when speaking to reporters at the G20, but a federal government source has now confirmed to CTV News that he is considering a trip to the U.S. Capitol next week. Prime Minister Carney's comments about Trump became a hot topic in Monday's question period in the House of Commons.
The Prime Minister says, who cares? All of us on this side of the House care about the communities that are being emptied out in our forestry, the steel workers in Hamilton who don't have jobs to pay their mortgages. We care about those people. Why doesn't he?
If Carney does make the trip, it will be his third visit since his election win in April. This would be the first visit to the States after Trump halted talks last month over an ad by the government of Ontario, which featured former U.S. President Ronald Reagan criticizing the use of tariffs. A man accused of trying to extort a former Saskatchewan MLA has had his charges stayed by the Crown. The trial was set to begin on Monday, but it was removed from the docket. According to the Court of King's Bench, Harpinder Bajwa was charged in 2023 by the Regina Police Service for allegedly trying to extort then Saskatchewan Party MLA Gary Greywall. Police said that at the time, Greywall was approached by the suspect who asked for the MLA's support in a local political election process. When Greywall refused, the suspect threatened to cause harm to him, his personal and his professional life. CTV News has reached out to the Ministry of Justice for comment on the trial being stayed. Not heard back yet. Dangerous drug alerts have been issued in both of Saskatchewan's major cities, highlighting a surge in drug overdoses in the province. Carla Shinkaruk spoke with a woman working on the front lines of the crisis who knows firsthand what addiction can do.
We're losing people. They're falling through the cracks.
Chantel Huel spends her days connecting to those on the streets of Saskatoon.
Every person that we meet is actually human and they deserve to live.
She's constantly reminded of the human cost. After surviving addictions herself, she now helps others. She questions government plans to get people the help they need.
People calling the shots that have never lived addictions, that have never been homeless, that have never stuck a needle in their arm before tucking their children in goodnight. They've never lived on the street.
Last week, Saskatchewan's health ministry issued toxic drug alerts for Saskatoon and Regina. After that, the provincial NDP called for immediate expansion of detox and treatment services.
People
People are dying every single day. People are overdosing from the poisonous drugs that are out on the street.
The Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Lori Carr, said this today about 500 new treatment spaces being introduced.
We already have just about 300 of those spaces in place, and of course with the goal of getting to those 500 as soon as we can, Mr. Speaker. So we look forward to all of those spaces being open, evaluating exactly what is in our system and what needs to come next.
Last week, Carr said once they have all the spaces open, a central intake system should be up and running, which will provide a comprehensive list of those who need help and work towards getting them appropriate level of service. Huel wants to see better coordination between treatment centers and outreach workers, which could save lives.
I'm a person with lived experience. I have 7 years in recovery.
The province told CTV News in an email, last week we announced an additional investment of up to $20 million over 3 years to expand homelessness services and enhance supports for individuals experiencing homelessness. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Saskatchewan NDP have formally introduced rent control legislation through a private member's bill. The legislation would limit annual rent increases to the Consumer Price Index, which currently stands at 2.4%. The NDP say rental rates in Saskatchewan have increased 24% over the past 2 years.
But the reality is the biggest offenders here are large corporate landlords that are not building new buildings. They're coming in, they are jacking up rent, and they're taking profits out of the province.
The provincial government believes rent control would discourage construction of rental housing. It will use its majority in the House to defeat the NDP proposal. The Saskatchewan Realtors Association is also opposed to the policy. NDP leader Carla Beck will join me in studio on Thursday. The Regina Cancer Patient Lodge has undergone some major renovations and upgrades over the past 2 years. The lodge gives cancer patients from across southern Saskatchewan a place to stay in Regina while undergoing treatments and procedures, many of them right across the street from the Alan Blair Centre. The building opened 40 years ago and was in need of a new roof, windows, and heat pumps. Inside the rooms are also refinished.
We tried really hard, the design team, to make it not feel quite so hospital-like. Quite a few cancer patients have had their fill of the hospital setting, so we worked really hard to give it a more residential feel, as well as more safety features with our walk-in showers.
More than half the cost of the $3 million project was raised by the Cancer Foundation of Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan's NDP held a reception to honor Joan Beattie on Monday. She was the first Indigenous woman elected in the Saskatchewan Assembly in 2003, then became the first First Nations woman appointed to the Saskatchewan Cabinet. Beattie told the guests about the importance of representation.
Is so huge because your point of view, when you, especially if you're in cabinet or just you've been in your caucus, they need to hear the kinds of things that we're going through, in whether it's in a small northern community, Indigenous community, the challenges that we face. They need to hear that.
Beattie served as an MLA from 2003 to 2008. A new legal precedent has been set regarding financial transparency of banned funds. Frog Lake First Nations Trust Fund held revenues from the natural resources located on banned lands. In 2013, the funds totaled around $102 million, but in 2024, less than $9 million remained in the account. After partnering up with the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, one band member filed a Federal Access to Information Act, was filed to acquire band council resolutions regarding the funds. Indigenous Services Canada initially refused to release the documents, so the matter was brought before federal court. An outburst inside the Ontario legislature broke out over a controversial housing bill that passed. Angry screams from the gallery above directed down at politicians as they voted on Bill 60. Premier Doug Ford yelled at a protester to get a job. Renters are worried the new changes favor landlords by accelerating evictions and taking away the ability for tenants to defend themselves. The legislature became so chaotic, security ordered the public out. U.S. President Donald Trump appears to be trying to balance ties to Asia's top two economies. Trump held back-to-back calls with the leaders of Japan and China. He agreed to visit Beijing in April and invited Chinese President Xi Jinping for a state visit later next year. President Trump also spoke with the Japanese Prime Minister, who said Trump reached out to reaffirm ties with Tokyo. It was the first leaders' call since Tokyo's leader sparked a diplomatic dispute with China after saying a hypothetical Chinese attack on Taiwan could trigger Japanese military action. The comments prompted an immediate response from Beijing that included a boycott on travel to Japan. As hockey season heats up, city officials in Weyburn dealing with an unusual situation over the weekend. The city's main Zamboni, or ice cleaner, used in the arena complex, which includes the Whitecap Resources Center and Tom Zandi Sports Arena, caught fire during a U15 game Sunday. Quick response from rink staff and Weyburn Fire Department led to the fire quickly being contained, and both rinks were safely evacuated. Play continued after a short delay. The city will use the outdoor Zamboni until another one can be fixed or brought in. Many local choirs banding together to help charity. The annual Knights of Columbus Carol Festival underway last night. Choirs from across the city of Regina gathering, singing holiday music and lifting everyone's spirit, including Chili for a number of charities, Chili for Children, Carmichael Outreach, never heard of Chili for Children, Access Communications, Children's Fund, and the Knights of Columbus Coats for Kids program. Let's get over to the Weather Center and join Janelle Lepai in for Kayleen Sawatsky. Today, we will remind viewers that our technical difficulties, the L frame, the ticker that's on your screen, it will come back. It will tell you the time. I will tell you it's 6:39 right now. Some people really worry about that, Janelle.
Some people do, but one thing you don't have to worry about is seeing snow today. Although this morning there was a little bit, by the time we woke up, we're not expecting to see much for snowfall today. However, later in the week, that is a different story. We'll get more into that coming up. Current temperature right here in Regina is -6. Now, once that sun does rise, we will see a mainly cloudy sky. Little bit of a breeze moving through as well, about northwest at about 20 kilometers per hour right here in Regina. Now over to Saskatoon, -12 as that current temperature. Again, once that sun comes up, some cloud cover. However, Saskatoon seeing more sunshine than we are right here in Regina. Now let's look over at our radar and satellite. You can see a little bit of cloud movement going through. This below was that snowfall that we saw late last night and early into this morning as well. Now, if we take a look over at our futurecast, you can see for today and into tomorrow as well, we aren't expecting to see much for snowfall. However, again, it is a cloudier week ahead of us, and we are expecting to see that continue on as well. Now, current temperatures throughout the province, -7 in Stony Rapids and Buffalo Narrows. Laurent seeing -5 along with Nipawin. Melfort -6. Hudson Bay -7. The Battleford seeing -8. Kindersley and Swift Current -12. Yorkton -5. We've got East End at -9. And of course, Weyburn at -4. Now for our highs today, the Battleford seeing about -6. Now Prince Albert -4, seeing most of those clouds hanging over the sky. Over to Regina again, that -2. Yorkton -3, seeing those clouds as well. Now Estevan expecting to see a little bit of a flurry later on into this evening. Now for our 5-day forecast right here in Regina. -2 again as our high for today. By this evening, we'll be seeing about -13 as our low, so those evenings are really starting to cool off now, and you can see that continue on throughout the week. Now, Friday again is when we'll start to see a little bit of snowfall in the Regina area. -6 for our high, -12 as our low that evening, and now Saturday, -11, a little bit more sunshine. Now over to Saskatoon, -3 is the high for today. Rolling into tomorrow, still seeing a little bit of that sun. Now Thursday is when that sky will experience more cloud cover, -9 as that high for Thursday. And as we roll into Saturday, starting off that weekend with -12 and more sunshine.
NVIDIA shares are facing downward pressure on a report that Meta Platforms is in talks to spend billions on Google's AI chips, suggesting the internet search leader is making headway in efforts to rival the industry's best-selling AI accelerator. Meta is in discussions to use the Google chips known as Tensor Processing Units, TPUs, in data centers in 2027. The information reported, citing an unidentified person familiar with the talks. Now, the information says Meta also may rent chips from Google's cloud division next year. Calling Canada an untapped opportunity, Montreal-based tech venture capital firm Inovia Capital is reportedly setting up an office in Abu Dhabi in a bid to encourage deep-pocketed Gulf sovereign wealth funds to build ties with Canadian artificial intelligence and technology firms. Patrick Pichette, a former chief financial officer at Google and now a partner at Inovia, says they will raise several funds early next year, including a $400 million venture fund and possibly a $100 million discovery fund for startups. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
I'm joined now by pop culture critic Craig Silliphant to talk about the movies. And the biggest movie in the world right now, it's about those two witches. Wicked for Good. We've got Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo back to play the two witches. What did you think?
Well, it's interesting that this is a 2.5-hour stage play they've made into more than 4 hours worth of movie. So I think that sets the tone a bit. Now, I should say right off, this movie was never going to be for me. So I'm sure there's plenty of people that will love these things. And on the positive side, like with the first movie, it looks amazing. The production design, they've created this entire world of Oz that just looks so good. And you mentioned Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. They are both incredible performers. They are charisma. They are on screen, and you know it when they're on screen. Now, the problem with this movie is it's fairly long, of course, again, but so it drags a lot in places, and yet there's certain plot points you need to hit that it feels like it's blasting through these plot points. So it becomes a little bit even confusing in places. It's a weird sensation to have something that feels like it's dragging, but also blasting through something at the same time. So, overall, I think for the fans of these movies and this genre, they're going to love it. The other weird thing it does is it tries to connect too much to the actual Wizard of Oz movie, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because the Wizard of Oz is a dream. This is almost, they're making it literal. There's a Dorothy and stuff that wasn't even in the stage play is in this movie. So, so there's some, I think fans of it will love it. I did not as much.
But Jeff Goldblum as the wizard, that's you gotta like that.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum doing anything, you gotta like that.
Okay, excellent. So there you are. If you're a fan and you're looking forward to it, it'll probably deliver. I think the other one is the latest big one from Netflix. This is Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's telling, which is always interesting. We got Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, had a quick run in theaters, but now you can watch it at home.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm going to say a lot of similar things here, right? You've got a movie that's 2.5 hours long for a book that's fairly short.
Yeah.
I will say it's one of the versions of the movies that captures the book a lot more closely to the text of the book. Again, it looks amazing. The worlds they've created. There's a lot of there's a bit of gore in it and some practical effects, and they all look really good. It's all really well done. But again, you've got a 2.5-hour movie where it starts to feel like a slog in a lot of places where you're going through all these scenes and going, is this going to matter later? I would say the last half hour or so of the movie, it really steps up and follows through. So that's great. When you screw up a movie, you'd rather do it at the beginning than you would at the end because it leaves a bad taste in the audience. Right. So overall, I can't say I loved Frankenstein, but it's worth seeing. I enjoyed it. It's worth seeing on the biggest screen you can see it on too.
All right, and there you have it. Two of the biggest movies in the world right now, and we can get all that and more details from various pop culture things at CraigSilliphant.com. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
It's Tuesday, November 25th, and we have these milestones to share with you. Happy 80th birthday to Beverly. This is coming from your entire family. Happy sweet 16 to Kylie. Your family hopes you have an amazing day. And more big birthday wishes going out to Sweetie from your mom, dad, and the rest of your family. And last but of course not least, happy birthday to Wyatt from your family. Have a great day. If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send them at least one day in advance.
Chase, what's going on today?
We're asking you something that you said in the last little while here that would have made no sense 50 years ago. You can text us over to 54321. We set up the Christmas tree over the weekend here and had that sentence of saying, I hope the robot vacuum doesn't eat the Christmas tree. And it just kind of was that pause of, really weird thing to say. Would have had to do some explaining if that was 50 years ago. So jump on the conversation there. You can text 54321. Also, get ready. This could be your ticket to Mexico. Boots on the beach. We will be calling out another 2 names here at 7 o'clock. And if you're the first name to call back, well, you are going to get qualified, and then we'll do the grand prize draw on Friday. If you haven't entered yet, do so at purecountry927.ca.
That reminds me to buy stock in sunscreen because you're going to Mexico. And something I said the other day, I was doing PA for the Regina Cougars basketball program. Somebody made an errant pass, and I said on the microphone, that pass was so 6'7", which I don't even know what that means now.
No, Daryl.
50 years ago, they'd have no clue either.
Yes.
I'm so hip.
You stop saying that.
I'm so hip and with it, right, Janelle? Fist bump?
You might have killed it for the kids now.
Okay, I hope so.
Taylor Swift fans are still calling for The Fate of Ophelia. The tune from Swift's album The Life of a Showgirl is #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for a 7th straight week. It's the first song to spend its first 7 weeks atop that chart since BTS's Butter in 2021.
In this year's Lydia Celebrates America, I set out to celebrate volunteers.
Food guru Lydia Bastianich's latest special spotlights everyday Americans whose generosity and food unites communities, strengthens bonds, and enriches lives. Lydia Celebrates America, A Nation of Neighbors premieres Tuesday on PBS.
The Oilers had come up with a brand new head coach that nobody ever heard of, Bum Phillips.
Just a nickname, not a description. The coach who gave a booming 70s Houston an NFL team worth cheering for gets a documentary. Love Ya Bum goes beyond the cowboy hat and charisma to show how his devotion to his players made him a beloved figure and changed the game. The doc debuts Tuesday on digital platforms. In Hollywood, I'm David Dandy.
This is always my rule. Guests go first. Janelle.
All right, well, if you're feeling down, here's a sure way to cheer you up. Dance with a goat. This man is tap dancing his way into people's hearts with a baby goat in one arm and others in the background. This is my dream.
I was waiting for Jeremy. I was waiting for Jeremy to do his trademark. Oh, he doesn't look like he's enjoying it.
No, this is okay. Goats can get wild. They like yoga and things like that. I'm sure the goat's just fine.
We got to get Awkward Silences sponsored by someone. Check out this hockey playing tot. Microphones, wireless microphones, so that I could do this with Mateo very, very soon. I'm very excited to do it.
Aw, I was going to say, this reminds me of something you would do.
Although right now the comments would be, what do you think's in our snack bag, Dad? Can we go get our snack bag now?
Priorities.
We're back right now. It's Tuesday, November 25th.
The biggest offenders here are large corporate landlords that are not building new buildings. They're coming in, they are jacking up rent, and they're taking profits out of the province.
Saskatchewan NDP have formally introduced rent control through a private members bill.
We need to be supportive of every project in every industry in every province across this nation.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe says he's disappointed in BC's opposition to pipeline building as Ottawa and Alberta expected to announce an energy deal this week.
Agribition is the salt of Saskatchewan.
Canadian Western Agribition officially underway in the Queen City with the burning of the brand. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Janelle Lippi. Thanks for being back with us.
You were down at Agribition yesterday. What kind of animals surprised you?
You know what? That's a really good question. And I would say the cows, because I've never seen them so fluffy and blow-dried before.
Oh, they are. We used to take Ontario kids that worked on this show down there to brush cows. It was the greatest thing in the world. It was the greatest.
They're so cute.
Our camera lady, Ashley, who works with you so closely,
yes.
She convinced one of our Ontario staffers that cows spit.
I'd believe her.
Yeah. She's still probably
very convincing.
Let's get to news. We'll get back to the weather in just a minute. An announcement on a new pipeline running from Alberta to BC could be coming soon.
And I really hope that we will have an agreement ready and available to be released soon.
Sources tell CTV News Prime Minister Mark Carney and the Alberta Premier Danielle Smith could announce a deal on a memorandum of understanding this week. We're hearing from the PMO that he'll be in Calgary on Thursday. BC's Premier says it's unacceptable that his province was cut out.
It's not something that would happen to Quebec. This is not something that would happen to other provinces in the Federation. I don't know why. The thought was that it would be okay for it to happen in British Columbia.
Premier Eby says he spoke with the Prime Minister yesterday and made it clear he expects BC to be part of the talks going forward, as well as the coastal First Nations at the table. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe says his province will not be a signatory on the pipeline memorandum of understanding, but shared his response to Eby's response.
I'm really disappointed that, an NDP premier would, start, thinking that this conversation is either or. It's either his projects or someone else's, and always advocating that it should be his. That's, it's disappointing. If we, truly want to move forward as Canadians and, not only claim to be on Team Canada, but actually be on Team Canada, we need to be supportive of every project in every industry in every province across this nation.
The NDP opposition in this province has introduced a rent control bill in the legislature that would tie future rent increases to changes in the consumer price index. But as Wayne Mantika reports, the legislation has little chance of passing because the government believes it would discourage rental housing construction.
Saskatchewan has led the nation in rent increases over the past 2 years, according to rentals.ca. It's up by 24%. The NDP is continuing its push for rent control.
But the reality is the biggest offenders here are large corporate landlords that are not building new buildings. They're coming in, they are jacking up rent, and they're taking profits out of the province.
The opposition has introduced a private member's bill that would limit annual rent increases to the change in the consumer price index. Currently, it's about 2.4%. A group of seniors who have faced annual rent increases support rent control.
So the first year our rent went up $70. The second year it went up $160 a month, and this past lease $70. So there's no consistency as to why.
About half the provinces currently have rent control in place. Some community advocates believe it's time that Saskatchewan joined the list.
It is obvious in recent years that rents have become excessive. The fallout from that is significant.
Landlords warn that rent control could discourage construction of new units and create a rental housing shortage.
And we need to be saying yes to housing and allowing our providers to make investments in Saskatchewan and continue to provide much needed, high quality rental homes for families.
The Saskatchewan government has consistently opposed rent control.
But in most jurisdictions where they do that, where they tie it to something, it sounds good on the surface, but what happens is you've got to incentivize more housing units to be built.
The NDP has been strongly advocating for rent control in recent months, but with the government holding the majority in the legislature, the proposal is likely to be defeated. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatoon City Council talking budget. Jeremy Dodge, let's get over to you.
Yeah, Daryl, thank you very much. Saskatoon's mayor and city councilors counting down the hours until multiple days of marathon meetings to set city finances for the next 2 years. And as Keenan Sorokhan reports, homeowners and businesses are bracing for impact.
The stage is set to finalize the city's budget for the next 2 years. Administration has already lent council a helping hand, lowering preliminary tax hikes to 7.43% next year and 5.92% in 2027. 3 weeks ago, the city called for taxes to go up 8.23%, with a smaller increase for the following year. The city has been candid about inflation and growth, putting pressure on the budget, saying these increases are necessary to maintain service levels. And businesses feel if some of the biggest tax hikes in the city's history don't give you anything extra, something needs to change.
It's becoming less and less sustainable and less affordable for people to live here and for job creators to do business here.
6 councillors will be looking at a 2-year budget for the first time, and Mayor Cynthia Block will oversee her first budget talks with more than 100 options to reduce the eventual tax hike. ABIG says there's an opportunity in front of them.
Challenge the status quo, dig deep, and demand better of services and programs that may be underperforming.
Block is challenging the status quo, with cities across the country looking at tax increases similar or larger than Saskatoon's. She says property taxes aren't cutting it any longer.
We want a new deal. Cities right across the country know that's necessary, and I think the only way we get there is if we lean in together.
Until then, ABIG is asking City Council to seriously consider what departments or programs are meeting expectations. Other business leaders say rotating audits of every department could help find more savings.
They could, in fact, show taxpayers, ratepayers where the dollars are going.
In 2023, councillors softened the blow by deferring large spending items, raising fees, and raising utility rates. Now we'll see how this council navigates a similar challenge. Keenan Sorokhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
And Daryl, reaction in Regina as well over the city budget there.
As you can imagine, not overwhelmingly positive. Rather, the administration says that it could be a 15.6 to 15.9% mill rate increase, and some organizations are now worried.
In every government, there's sometimes change that needs to happen. However, we're confident the city will make the right choices, understanding that the money that they're investing is going towards the community.
The Conservatory is requesting $20,000 in city grant funding as part of plans for a new building, but the request appeared on a potential list of cuts presented to councillors as the city looks for ways to save money. Some councillors say not every expense will be trimmed on that list, but nothing is off the table.
Change is more important than cut. We talk to our community groups, we talk to our partnerships, we talk to everyone involved, right? And so far, no one is really opposed to spending a little bit more for critical infrastructure.
I understand that residents are frustrated. I'm frustrated too. We got ourselves into this mess by not thinking ahead. But if folks are mad with an increase, wait to see what will happen if we start cutting things like outdoor hockey rinks and community centers and snow removal.
The forecasted mill rate increase is not final. Deliberations begin in December when a final budget is expected to be approved. Wanuskewin Heritage Park has won a national award for Indigenous tourism. 2025 Canadian Tourism Awards were held in Gatineau, Quebec, honoring the best in a range of categories in the tourism industry. Wanuskewin was the winner of the Indigenous Tourism Award for excellence in delivering authentic, innovative, and meaningful cultural experiences. Saskatchewan had 9 finalists across a number of categories. Wanuskewin says the award helps fuel its journey towards becoming a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Let's get over to the Weather Center. And the best part about being in studio is you get to make somebody's day by giving away something.
That's right. Really exciting thing coming up here. Riley Green, Lainey Wilson, and Creed headline Country Thunder Saskatchewan 2026. We want you to be a part of the excitement. You can enter on our website for a chance to win a pair of general admission weekend passes. Don't text, don't email, go straight to that website. All right, now let's take a look over at our current temperature right here in Regina, -6. Seeing those clouds starting to move in, and that wind speed still about 19 kilometers northwest. Now over to Saskatoon, -12, a little bit less of that wind chill coming through at about 6 kilometers. Now once that sun does rise, Saskatoon seeing more sunshine than we are here in Regina. Again, still around those above seasonal temperatures. Now for radar and satellite, you can see a little bit of that system moving through the province. Last night's little snowfall here towards the bottom. Now, as we roll into later today and tomorrow, we aren't seeing much for snow coming through, but again, that cloud cover is still pretty thick in the sky. Now, for our current temperatures, Stony Rapids seeing about -8, Buffalo Narrows -7, South End and Nipawin -5, Spiritwood and Melfort -6, Battleford's -7. We've got Kindersley and Swift Current -12, Yorkton and Wynyard -6, Estevan -3, and Weyburn -5. Now for our highs today, the Battleford seeing about -6, a little bit of sunshine coming through. Now Prince Albert is where we'll see a lot of cloud cover in the sky, -4. Along with Yorkton, still not seeing a ton for sunshine, -3. Now Estevan is where things could get a little bit snowy, some flurries potentially coming through at -2, and we've got Swift Current -3. Now for our 7-day forecast right here in Regina, -2 is our high for today. This evening we'll be hitting about -13 as our low. Again, pretty cloudy today. Tomorrow we'll start to see some more sunshine coming through. Now Friday is when the Regina area will see some flurries coming in, -6 as the high. For Saturday and Sunday, we've got a little bit more sunshine peeking out, -11 on Saturday, -12 on Sunday, and we start a fresh week on Monday with -12. Now over to Saskatoon, -3 as the high for today, seeing more sunshine. Then again, we are here in Regina. Now that'll continue on throughout Wednesday as well. Thursday is when you'll start to see more clouds coming in, -9. Now as we roll into the weekend, -12 on Saturday, -14 on Sunday. And on that Monday, seeing a little bit more sunshine than this week and a high of -12. It's time for our rural forecast today. Meadow Lake seeing -3, Lloydminster -5. We've got Spiritwood at -4, along with Belfort. Both areas seeing quite a bit of cloud cover. Kindersley -2, along with Outlook and Wynyard -4. Now let's take a look over at Leader, seeing about -1, Rosetown -2, Kenora -3, along with Broadview. We've got Rockland at -7 and Assiniboia -4. Now let's take a look over at Blaine Lake, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel, seeing about -4 as the high. Mainly sunny, but still some clouds in the sky, and those wind speeds going west at about 10 to 20 kilometers.
All right, time to head back out to Mike Siona now, who is getting set for Bolt with a W. Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. Here on Bolt Crescent with Spencer and Ann, who are with the Bethlehem Stars, but we're in enemy territory right now. We're standing in the Tommy Douglas gym. The reason for that, of course, is because of the Joint Use School. And we've got essentially one big tournament with 4 different divisions. Let's start with you and just talk about just how cool it is to be in this large, massive tournament.
And it's awesome. You know, you got teams coming out from Regina, getting to experience some new competition, and then the crowd, you know, it's the best part of it. Have your whole school behind you while you play. Nothing better than that.
No, I love that. Now, obviously, we're just across the gym in the other gym from your home school, but you're in grade 11. You've played in Bolt before. Can you put your finger on what it feels like to have the whole school in the gym?
It's a surreal experience. Like, the crowd and the ambiance is crazy. Bethlehem Stars are so supportive when we're playing. It's just a really great experience.
I absolutely love that. Now, the tournament itself runs, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Obviously, you guys have the final circled. But let's start with the pool play, because it's not a straight single elimination tournament. How does it work?
Well, we're going to play Centennial first on Thursday, and then we're going to play Harvest City on Friday. And then the winner from that pool and the winner from the other pool are going to play in the final.
Okay, and same thing for second and third. Obviously, everybody wants to be in the final. Who's in your pool?
We have Esteban and Evan Hardy. We play Evan Hardy on Thursday first, and then Esteban on the Friday.
Perfect. And obviously, big crowds expected on Thursday and on Friday during the school day. You guys get to play in front of the home crowd, and then hopefully it's finals. Well, everybody wants to be in the final. There's 24 teams that are going to be here in those 4 divisions, girls and boys, at Tommy Douglas and just down the hall in Bethlehem. And it is going to be a fantastic tip-off to the high school basketball season.
I love those high school gym vibes, Mike. Thank you. We'll see you again in just a little bit.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And this comes from a bizarre incident in the Premier League. Everton taking on Manchester United. In the 13th minute here, Everton's Idrissa Gueye turns it over. So that leads to a great chance for Bruno Fernandes. But it's what happened afterwards. Gueye gets into it with his teammate, Michael Keane. He gives Gueye a couple of shoves. And then in retaliation, he slaps him in the face. Wild. Gueye actually given a straight red card for the slap. Marks the first time since 2008 a player in the Premier League has been kicked out for misconduct against his own teammate. But despite going down to 10 men, Everton actually won the match 1-0. That right there, your must-see moment. Bananas. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, it is game 1 of the CHL versus USA Prospects Challenge. Pre-game coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a fantastic day.
Well, trending this morning, a Canadian music legend will be celebrated at next year's Junos.
From Blue to her latest return to the stage, you know, Joni just continues to inspire us with her artistry. So congratulations to Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell from Fort Macleod, Alberta, will receive a Lifetime Achievement Award for an incredible impact on music. She'll be just the 3rd recipient of this honor, along with Anne Murray, Canada's songbird, and Pierre Junot, the namesake of the awards. The 2026 Junos will be held in Hamilton in March. So congratulations.
Joni Mitchell from Saskatoon, thank you very much.
I think she was born and raised in Fort Macleod, was she not?
She may have been born and raised,
okay,
but she is from Saskatoon. Come visit the Joni Mitchell Promenade.
So somebody's going to fact check us on this, and we're both going to turn out to be right, which is going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably.
Question of the day is where we go to next.
All right, so our question of the day today is, what's your favorite part of Agribition? So we got some really good answers coming in here. We've got Keisha here who says, I like the smell. Reminds me of my childhood on my grandparents' farm.
Okay, I looked it up. She was born in Fort Macleod. She may have deep ties to Saskatoon, but she was so we're both right. I fact checked ourselves. We're both right. Back to you, Janelle.
And now we know.
I just love it. I just like the text line. The text line bothers me.
All right, mystery solved. Let's head back to this. The swamp is coming from Brad, and that was his favorite thing. Now, I did look this up because I was very unsure of what the swamp was.
Yeah.
Really nice little spot for a little beverage, drink.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's very nice.
Great answers. And we're excited to hear everybody else's too. Remember that you can send those in to us. You can text 10400. Standard message rates and data rates may apply, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. We're really excited to hear from you. Send those answers in.
Joni Mitchell's parents, by the way, Myrtle and Bill Anderson. Follow me for more fun facts about Joni Mitchell.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
It's time for your morning mystery. We've got our chalkboards, whiteboards, whatever you want to call them. 3 clues, trying to get it right. It is a film today. Clue number 1, it is a Disney animated comedy adventure film.
Okay.
Oh, I know it.
Why'd your eyes go so big? It won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature in 2017, so that narrows it down. That's within your range.
Sure.
We're not going back to the 30s. Feel more confident. The main characters are a rabbit police officer named Judy Hopps and a clever red fox named Nick Wilde. Those are voiced by Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, I have it.
This is taking everything from her.
Nope, don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Today is the day.
Oh, look at you.
Huh?
Look at you. Look at you. First I wrote Zootopolis, and now Zootopia, so that's good. What, is that right? Scroll down. What do we got? It is Zootopia.
What?
Zootopia.
Oh, you're wrong, Daryl. Sorry.
Zootopolis. That's what I wrote in the first place.
Hey, is that a movie?
It's not Zootropolis. It's Zootopia. Who got this
I don't
wrong?
know who did. Somebody did this. Somebody did that. Zootopia is in the United States. Zootropolis. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Go backwards. Go backwards on the teleprompter. If we read this, it says it's called Zootopia in the United States, but Zootropolis in Canada due to legal and trademark issues.
Oh, okay.
Zootropolis
You're still wrong.
2 starts in theaters on Friday. So our morning mystery is worse than our Joni Mitchell hit story.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
All right, let's take a look over at our school day forecast brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. In Regina, by the time you get onto the bus, -6. By lunchtime, -4. And by final bell around 3 p.m., -2, seeing a little bit of sunshine. Now over to Saskatoon, make sure you're grabbing your jacket. -12 by the time you get onto the bus. Now by lunchtime, -5, final bell, -3, seeing a little bit of a wind chill. Things are starting to warm up just a little bit and some sunshine on the way. As we go into the break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $129.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $109.9. And in Saskatoon, common cost to fill up is $127.9, with the lowest being $115.9. Taking a look over at the farm markets, the street price of canola is $583.02 per ton, and the futures price is $642.20 per ton. For amber durum wheat being $285.94 per ton, and red spring wheat $250.89 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.88 cents US. When we come back, a former addict calling for urgent action on addiction.
Welcome to your morning. Let's get to your headlines. When Prime Minister Mark Carney was asked when he last spoke to U.S. President Donald Trump, he said, "Who cares?" That was a couple of days ago. Today, we are hearing he may actually be considering a trip to Washington.
I mean, it's a detail. It's a detail. I spoke to him. I'll speak to him again when it matters. So we're busy. He's got other things to do, and we'll re-engage when it's appropriate.
That was Carney's response to the question when reporters were at the G20 in South Africa. But a federal government source has now confirmed to CTV News that he is considering a trip to the U.S. Capitol next week. Prime Minister Carney's comments about Trump became a hot topic in Monday's question period in the House.
The Prime Minister says, who cares? All of us on this side of the House care about the communities that are being emptied out in our forestry, the steel workers in Hamilton who don't have jobs to pay their mortgages. We care about those people. Why doesn't he?
If Carney does make the trip, it will be his third visit since his election win in April. This would be the first visit to the States after Trump halted talks last month over that ad by the Ontario government featuring U.S. President Ronald Reagan criticizing the use of tariffs. Saskatchewan is facing a surge in drug overdoses with a recovering addict who is now on the front line calling for urgent action. Outreach worker Chantel Huell spends her days connecting to those on the streets of Saskatoon and sees the human toll addictions are having firsthand. She spoke at a recent NDP news conference questioning government plans to get people the help that they need. She says the process to get help with paperwork and lengthy check-in system is causing too many people to fall through the cracks.
We're losing people. They're falling through the cracks because of judgment, because of shame, because we're not understanding that every person that we meet is actually human and they deserve to live.
Huell wants anyone seeking help to be placed in treatment beds as quickly as possible to give them the best chance for success. 54th annual Canadian Western Agribition officially underway with the ceremonial burning of the brand. Jacob Carr takes us there.
The Honourable Bernadette McIntyre was chosen for the burning of the brand this year at Agribition. McIntyre has attended all 54 iterations of the event and says getting to take part in the tradition was exhilarating.
I was so excited because I've been seeing people do this for decades. Very, very exciting, and they will. I'll get to keep that eventually. They cut it up and they give it to me. So
the annual event that brings in people from across Canada is also special to Miss Rodeo Agribition 2025, Abby Harty.
I am Saskatchewan. I am more than just land and latitude, more than grain silos and gravel roads. I am skies that stretch forever, fields that feed a nation, and people who ride for something bigger than themselves.
The 21-year-old from Edam was crowned Miss Rodeo Canada 2026 in October and is the first to earn the national title while also holding the Miss Rodeo Agribition crown.
It's incredible to be able to represent something that you're so passionate about and to be able to write that down and take that to a competition like Miss Rodeo Canada and explain to the people in that room exactly what event I'm representing and where I'm from.
For organizers, Agribition is also about educating the younger generation on the importance of agriculture in the province.
You talk to almost any of the older generation here and they all remember coming as a kid. They, again, going through the barns, seeing the education, seeing the machinery. Again, it's just important to really showcase, that Saskatchewan is agriculture.
Kindop says Agribition is about bringing people together, but the spirit of the event is perhaps best summed up by the Miss Rodeo Canada 2026 in waiting.
But if you really want to know who I am, come visit me in the final week of November. That's when my soul stirs. When the fences get mended, the trailers roll in, and the city of Regina puts on her boots and goes western.
Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Regina police say an investigation into a report of potential animal abuse involving poultry was deemed non-criminal. On Saturday, police and animal protection officers called to a home in the city's southeast, finding the residents had upwards of 70 chickens and ducks from local farms to be butchered for consumption, which is legal. The call was deemed non-criminal and no further police action needed. Regina Humane Society says it's aware of the situation and looking into it, but cannot comment further. Police were called to a Saskatoon parking lot Sunday for a report of a gunshot. Police say it happened just before 10 o'clock in the 600 block of Avenue X South. An 18-year-old from Prince Albert was arrested in a dog park nearby. Police say the gun used was in the man's possession. He's now facing 6 charges, which include obstruction and intentionally discharging a firearm. And police also investigating a Saskatoon stabbing on Sunday. Police were called to the 300 block of 20th Street West for a report of an injured man in front of a business. Police say the 37-year-old was suffering from stab wounds. He was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police believe the stabbing happened on Avenue D South and continue to investigate. A judge has thrown out criminal charges against New York Attorney General Letitia James and former FBI Director James Comey.
I'm grateful that the court ended the case against me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence.
The judge threw out the cases after ruling the prosecutor was unlawfully appointed. Lisa Halligan is a former insurance lawyer handpicked by President Trump to bring charges to the grand jury. Both James Comey and Letitia James say the prosecutions were political. 2 bears have now been captured after last week's vicious attack on students and teachers on a field trip in BC.
The evidence that they've collected so far suggests that this was not the bear that was involved in the attack on the children and the teachers. The bear continues to be searched for by the conservation officers. Additional officers were sent up today.
It is yet to be determined if the second bear that was captured was involved. The attack comes after 2 other recent grizzly encounters prompted calls to revisit BC's ban on grizzly hunting. The government will examine the hunting policy in the coming weeks, but says it will not make any immediate changes. A school division in Manitoba has come up with a thought-provoking idea on how to keep kids from using AI for their homework. The plan? To get teachers to assign less homework. Alex Carpa explains.
A consistent classroom trend has emerged among students over the last few years.
We noticed that the students were having problems with homeworks.
Alain Laberge believes AI and other online tools have played a role in this shift. The school division he works for recently issued new guidelines for teachers recommending that homework be assigned in moderation while encouraging students to read on their downtime at night.
We have not forbid homework. What we're telling them is the easiest thing and one of the best thing is to read.
Laberge believes AI is impacting how students complete their homework.
They would just simply turn around and ask AI questions and just write down the answers, which we believe is not really useful. It's not the way, it's not critical thinking.
Teachers are being asked to be careful of the types of homework they give out to ensure AI isn't being used as a copying tool. Michael Holden believes it makes sense not to be grading work that is being sent home with students.
When I send homework home, I don't know if the student did that on their own or if they had help from a parent or from a sibling or a tutor, or plugging it into Google or plugging it into a chatbot and asking it to answer the questions for them.
Other professors like David Gerhard say finding a balance is important.
Finding some way to allow students to learn the power of these tools, but also learn how to do the material themselves is going to be the balance.
We're not trying to demonize AI. That's not what we want parents to understand. It's just like AI and homework is not necessarily a good combination.
For Laberge, he says he just wants to see students succeed and is confident this policy will keep them on the right path. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Guns N' Roses coming to Canada next year. The band has just announced more than 60 tour dates, the first time back on stage since 2023. Tour also comes with 2 brand new singles, Nothing and Atlas, both out next week. There will be 3 Canadian stops, Toronto, Vancouver, and Edmonton, because when bands think of Canada, they think of Toronto, Vancouver, and Edmonton or Montreal. Let's get over to the Weather Center. It's the 25th. It is 1 month to Christmas. Where's the snow?
Well, we won't be seeing it today or tomorrow or the next day. However, Friday is when we'll start to see some flurries coming in. Now, we did wake up in Regina to a little bit of snow on the ground, and that should be sticking around for the week as well. -6 currently. Once that wind speed picks up, it'll be about 19 kilometers per hour, and again, seeing a little bit of a cloudier day today. Now over to Saskatoon, -12. A little bit more sunshine. That sun is slowly but surely rising, and once it's up, Saskatoon will be seeing quite a bit more of it than we will be here in Regina. Now let's move over to our radar and satellite. You can see that system moving through. That was a little bit of the snow that we got last night and early this morning. Again, we won't be seeing that today or tomorrow. Again, just some cloud cover in the sky here. You can kind of see that moving through the province. Pretty thick clouds as well, so not a ton of sunshine on the forecast for us coming up. Current temperatures across the province: Stony Rapids -8, Buffalo Narrows -7. We've got South End and Nipawin -5, Melfort and Hudson Bay -6, and Spiritwood -7. Battleford's also seeing -7, Kindersley and Swift Current -12, Weyburn -5, Estevan -3, and Yorkton -6. Now for our forecast today, those highs, the Battlefords will be seeing about -6, Prince Albert, -4. We've got a little bit of cloud cover as well in the sky. Saskatoon again, -3. Moose Jaw, -3 as well. Weyburn, -3. Estevan, -3. Seeing quite a bit of cloud cover, as you can tell here throughout the province. Now for our 5-day forecast right here in Regina, -2 today as our high, -13 by the time you see this evening. So things are starting to cool down pretty good. Now starting tomorrow, we'll see -4 and those clouds starting to move in. Now Friday again, we'll see those flurries coming through at a -6 and -12 Friday evening. And we'll start off the weekend on Saturday, a little bit sunnier and -11. Now over to Saskatoon, -3 today as that high, -15 is the low for this evening. And again, we'll see that sunshine over Saskatoon tomorrow as well with -6. Now Thursday is when you start to see some of those clouds moving in, and those will stick around through Friday as well. And then Saturday, our Saskatoon friends will kick off that weekend, -12 as the high, seeing some of that sunshine peeking out as well.
The incident happened on October the 2nd, 2025 at a business on the 1100 block of East Victoria Avenue. A man entered a business and stole a laptop that was sitting on the desk and left. There are some good pictures of the suspect. He has a green camo ball cap, short black hair, mustache, about average height. He had a white undershirt, gray zip-up, blue jeans, and white shoes. If you recognize this man, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
All right, it's time for a weekly check-in with the Regina Humane Society. And of course, I've got Bill Thorne with me here today. Now, Bill, who do you have with you?
Well, Janelle, this morning I have Jaeger, and he is a super awesome guy, about 2 years old or so. Maybe a bit of husky in there. Maybe sort of like the snow that's we got a little bit of skip of snow outside the building today. He loved that, was rolling around in it when we went outside, and super playful. And I should also mention that his adoption is fully sponsored thanks to a generous member of our community. So there is no adoption fee for the adopter. But as you can see, he's pretty active. He's going to want to play. And even just looking around this, we're going to go for a ride here. Looking around the shelter, he wants to go exploring and sniffing around. And I think he'd be an awesome companion for your winter walks or any time of year that is. Or if you want to get pushed around in a chair, he's very good at that too.
Well, he looks like a lot of fun, Bill. Now, he is pretty active. What type of family would be the best fit for him?
Well, active, I think, is the main word there. He's going to need some exercise for sure, as you can see, to burn off some of that energy. And so a family that likes to get out and do things, go hiking, even just play around the backyard or walk around the parks in the area or around the neighborhood, he's going to love that for sure.
All right, and he is sponsored. How can somebody else who's watching and maybe can't adopt, how can they contribute, financially to sponsoring another animal?
Sure, you can sponsor an animal if you like. This is a very important fundraising time of year for us. We have our holiday lottery going on right now where you can win cash every day in December. And we also have our holiday catalog where you can purchase specific items for pets. And also don't forget our open house happening this weekend where we kick off our Home for the Holidays campaign. We're going to have choirs singing. The Adopt Shop behind me is going to be 10% off all the items in the store for pet accessories and a whole bunch of other things going on for the whole family. That's 1 to 3 this Saturday, the 29th at the shelter.
Fantastic, Bill. And before we wrap things up, if somebody is interested in adopting Jaeger, how can they go about that?
You can come visit us here at the shelter. We're open for adoptions Tuesday through Sunday, noon to 6 p.m. You do not need an appointment. You can also go on our website, click on adoptions. You'll be able to see Jaeger and all the other pets looking for homes live online as well.
All right, Bill. Well, as always, it was a pleasure to chat with you. And Jaeger, very nice to meet you. Your forever family is on the way. Thanks, Bill.
Take care.
Take care.
Here's what's happening in our community. A Burger Night fundraiser happening Thursday, November 27th at 6 p.m. over at the Turvey Center. That's 100 Armour Road. Club 66 Social Dance happening Tuesday, November 28th at 7:30 p.m. at the Regina 55 Plus Community Center. That's 2134 Winnipeg Street. Call 306-529-6381. A bake sale is happening at St. Paul's Greek Orthodox Church on 3000 Argyle Road. It's happening Saturday, November 29th at 10 a.m. And you might want to check out this market happening at the German Club, 1727 St. John Street on Saturday, November 29th at 2 p.m. Or the Jingle Bell Market, Saturday, November 29th at 10 a.m. Little Flower Auditorium, 420 College Avenue. Admission is free. If you'd like your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, at least 2 weeks in advance.
NVIDIA shares are facing downward pressure on a report that Meta Platforms is in talks to spend billions on Google's AI chips, suggesting the internet search leader is making headway in efforts to rival the industry's best-selling AI accelerator. Meta is in discussions to use the Google chips known as Tensor Processing Units, TPUs, in data centers in 2027. The information reported, citing an unidentified person familiar with the talks. Now, the information says Meta also may rent chips from Google's cloud division next year. Calling Canada an untapped opportunity, Montreal-based tech venture capital firm Innovia Capital is reportedly setting up an office in Abu Dhabi in a bid to encourage deep-pocketed Gulf sovereign wealth funds to build ties with Canadian artificial intelligence and technology firms. Patrick Pichette, a former chief financial officer at Google and now a partner at Innovia, says they will raise several funds early next year, including a $400 million venture fund and possibly a $100 million discovery fund for startups. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Tuesday, November 25th, and we have these milestones to share with you. Happy 80th birthday to Beverly. This is coming from your entire family. Happy sweet 16 to Kylie. Your family hopes you have an amazing day. And more big birthday wishes going out to Sweetie from your mom, dad, and the rest of your family. And last but of course not least, happy birthday to Wyatt from your family. Have a great day. If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send them at least one day in advance.
What are you giving away today?
We have some tickets for the War and Treaty. A show just got announced yesterday, coming to Saskatoon, February 8th, Coors Event Center. So coming up after 8:30, a chance to grab those tickets with our useless question of the day. They'll officially go on sale for you on Friday morning. And then that will lead us right up to 9 o'clock, which will mean another 2 names called out for Boots on the Beach. And you could win that trip to Mexico. Had some people texting in today, too, asking, can I enter more than once? Yes, you can enter each and every day. So the more times you enter the draw at purecountry927.ca, the better of a chance you have of having your name called at 9 a.m. Then is a mad dash between the 2 names to see who calls in first and gets qualified.
And then you can chase the chicken on the beaches of Mexico.
I have the giant inflatable chicken costume ready to go. Yeah, you know, just the essentials for Mexico.
Terrifying. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Daryl.
Could decide the firm's future. And our business is just growing so fast, we can't handle it all.
All's Fair is coming back for more. The Ryan Murphy Lawyer series starring Kim Kardashian has been picked up for season 2 at Hulu, with production starting in spring of 2026. Kardashian stars alongside Sarah Paulson, Glenn Close, Niecy Nash-Betts, Naomi Watts, and Tiana Taylor in the drama centered on an all-female divorce attorney firm. Variety has released their list of the 100 best comedy movies of all time. The list includes classics like Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein and Bringing Up Baby, as well as newer favorites such as Elf and Mrs. Doubtfire. As for their #1 pick, that goes to 1988's The Naked Gun. Ryan Seacrest and Rita Ora are getting some company this New Year's Eve with Julianne Hough and Chance the Rapper, joining them as co-hosts for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest 2026. Hough will help co-host festivities in Las Vegas, while Chance will ring in the new year in his hometown of Chicago. The show airs Wednesday, December 31st, live on ABC. And happy birthday to Christina Applegate, who turns 54 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
But she's still like kind of tomboy.
Is away, so Janelle gets to play and guests go first.
Okay, well, 'tis the season for seeing this face.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Truth. I feel seen.
This is the Get the Decorations face. Whether it's from the basement or the attic or storage, the men have to get the bins in most households and other homes. The women do it all themselves. The clock is ticking, so if you haven't done it yet, expect to go looking for Christmas decorations in the upcoming weeks.
My wife did this all herself because I'm not allowed to touch. I'm not allowed to decorate. At one point, she said I could decorate the back of the tree that faces the wall. And I was like, oh, okay, just to participate. And then she redecorated that. So
we have a deal where I will bring everything up, but then I don't have to worry about the tree. It gets done to precision and perfectly without my input.
Okay, question. How many trees do you have in your house?
One.
One? You have two? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I may have 7.
One per room. One per room.
Just somebody, if you know my wife and you see her on the street today, just tell her that's too much. It's too much. I've been telling her. You tell her. Maybe she'll hear it from somebody else. From Agribition. It's Tuesday, November 25th.
I underlined for the Prime Minister how unacceptable it was to me.
BC Premier David Eby fights for a place at the table as a pipeline deal between Ottawa and Alberta appears close.
Who cares? I mean, it's a detail. It's a detail. I spoke to him. I'll speak to him again when it matters.
After making those comments about when he will speak with the U.S. President, we're learning the Prime Minister could be heading to Washington next week.
Agribition is the salt of Saskatchewan.
Canadian Western Agribition, officially underway, the 54th edition. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Janelle Lippi. Thanks for being back with us.
Kayleen is away today. She'll be back with us tomorrow. The 25th. That means 1 month to Christmas. Are you done your shopping? Have you started?
I've started. I'm nowhere near done, though.
Oh, I'm afraid of... She buys us gifts sometimes, and they're terrifying.
Everybody's getting something.
Everybody gets gifts.
Yep.
They're usually plush toys from the dollar store. Okay, we'll get to your forecast, which I know includes some snow down the line. We'll get to news first. We begin with that top story we mentioned. The federal government and Alberta set to sign a memorandum of understanding on energy and climate change on Thursday. Sources say that deal will pave the way for a new oil pipeline to the BC coast. Now, a move Saskatchewan's company also has BC's Premier fuming. Here's Rob Buffum with more.
An agreement between Alberta and Ottawa is expected this week for a memorandum of understanding on a new pipeline to BC's coast, involving an exemption to the province's tanker ban.
Big picture, what we're looking to do and what we are doing is a series of major investments, nation-building projects that make our country stronger.
Premier Eby talked Monday morning with Prime Minister Carney, expressing his strong opposition to the plan, telling reporters the deal isn't yet finalized and reiterating his frustrations that even Saskatchewan was included in talks about the pipeline, but not BC.
It's not something that would happen to Quebec. This is not something that would happen to other provinces in the Federation. I don't know why. The thought was that it would be okay for it to happen in British Columbia.
Eby acknowledged an official MOU was likely days away, but disputed that means an actual pipeline is inevitable, with no private sector proponent yet.
If it is going to be taxpayer funded, that British Columbia get access to a $50 billion federally funded project as well.
I'm thrilled to see that this is going forward. I think it's part of a nation-building project that helps to unify this country.
Eby told the Prime Minister his biggest demand, that coastal First Nations be at the table.
Coastal First Nations consent and support is required for this conversation.
Meanwhile, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith expressed confidence on her radio talk show. A deal is coming.
We've been going back and forth almost daily for probably the better part of the last 2 weeks.
Feeling left out of consultations, Eby's frustrations amplified by news a huge Saskatchewan potash company plans to ship its products out of Washington state, not BC's ports.
That really was just the cherry on top.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe firing back.
I'm really disappointed that, you know, an NDP premier would, you know, start, you know, thinking that this conversation is either or. It's either his projects or someone else's, and always advocating that it should be his.
Robert Buffum, CTV News.
A 15.69% mill rate hike is on the table for Regina residents as part of the city's budget forecasts. But as councillors look for ways to reduce the increase, some organizations feel fearful, the funding rollback will affect them. Donovan Mace reports.
For over 35 years, the Regina Floral Conservatory has operated as a non-profit.
This is not only like, you know, a place not only for tourism, but a place of culture, of education, and of mental health.
The organization is requesting $20,000 in city grant funding as part of Regina's 2026 budget, but that may be in jeopardy as council looks for ways to cut additional expenses.
When you find out such hard news, sometimes it might be shocking.
Last month, council requesting options to reduce the overall mill rate by as much as 18.5%. In response, nearly 140 potential reductions are on the table, which could save over $71 million, including reducing grants for community partners like the Conservatory, Real and Economic Development Regina, canceling city events like I Love Regina Day and Light the Lights, or even closing fire halls, recreational and community centers.
We don't do this lightly. We're not taking any joy. We're not making any professional recommendation to do that.
Some councillors say it is unlikely each and every expense highlighted will be cut. However, nothing is off the table in order to keep Regina one of the most affordable cities to live in Canada.
Change is more important than cut. So far, no one is really opposed to spending a little bit more for critical infrastructure.
But if folks are mad with an increase, wait to see what will happen if we start cutting things like outdoor hockey rinks and community centers and snow removal.
As the Conservatory hopes its long-standing partnership with the city may continue.
We're confident the city will make the right choices, understanding that the money that they're investing is going towards the community.
Now, the city's budget forecast, including that 15.69% mill rate hike, is not final. Council is scheduled to debate and approve the final budget when deliberations begin December 15th. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Jeremy Dodge, they're discussing budget in your city as well.
Yeah, the stage is set, Daryl, for Saskatoon City Councillors to finalize the budget for the next 2 years. Councillors will spend 3 or more days reviewing over 100 ways to reduce the upcoming property tax hike. City administration has already cut the preliminary 8.2% increase down to 7.4% after finalizing assessment growth. For now, the 2027 hike is set at 5.9%. With property taxes up nearly 15% over the past 3 years, some are calling for more sustainable increases going forward.
If we do not change course, these increases will outpace the capacity of the average business owner to pay them or pass them on. And that means we have economic stagnation in this city. And then we are in real trouble.
Councillors will need to eliminate $3.3 million to decrease the property tax hike by 1%. Police called to a Saskatoon parking lot on Sunday for the report of a gunshot. It happened, according to police, just before 10 o'clock in the 600 block of Avenue X South. An 18-year-old man from Prince Albert was arrested in a dog park nearby. Police say the gun used was in the man's possession. He's facing 6 charges, including obstruction and intentionally discharging a firearm. Well, Daryl, Agribition is back in Regina.
Yeah, day 2 today. They had the burning of the brand yesterday, which is a big thing. Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, Bernadette McIntyre, wonderful human, did the burning of the brand. She said it was a big thrill. She's been to the event for as long as she can remember. That event, of course, features livestock shows, rodeo vendors, and a hands-on ag experience for educational purposes.
Agribition is the salt of Saskatchewan. It is, as our rodeo queen said, it depicts everything that's wonderful about Saskatchewan. The history of agriculture goes hundreds of years back, and it includes everyone.
Canadian Western Agribition, the 54th edition, runs until Saturday. Let's get over to the Weather Centre. So far, we have yet to see the big story for Agribition Week, and that is there's got to be a cow on the loose somewhere, or a bull.
There has to be.
Has to be.
It's a routine. It happens what feels like every year. I'm waiting for it.
Maybe it's because there's been no precipitation yet. Maybe they want to go for a stroll in the rain.
They might. And unfortunately, they're going to be inside for a couple more days because we aren't expecting to see any snow until Friday. As you can see behind me here, a little bit of a foggier start. You can see some of that snow that we got earlier this morning and later last night. -6 currently here in Regina. It's going to be a cloudy day. Now over to Saskatoon, -10, seeing that sun start to rise. And once it does rise, you'll see a lot more of it than what we're seeing in Regina. Wind speeds are fairly low as well, 7 kilometers per hour as of currently. Now let's take a look over at our radar and satellite here. You can see that system moving through at the bottom of our screen here. That was a little bit of the snow that we did get last night and into this morning. But again, we are just seeing pretty high cloud cover going through the province as of today and into the rest of the week up until Friday as well. Now let's take a look over at our current temperatures throughout Saskatchewan. Stony Rapids seeing about -9, Buffalo Narrows -7, La Ronge and South End -6. We've got Nipawin at -5 and Spiritwood -9. Now over to the Battlefords, -7, Kindersley -9, Swift Current -12, Estevan -4, and Yorkton -6. Now for our highs today, seeing quite a bit of cloud cover throughout the province. The Battlefords -6, some sunshine peeking through. Now Moose Jaw -3, seeing a little bit of that snowfall slowly rolling through as well. That's what we experienced earlier this morning. Swift Current -3, we've got Weyburn at -3 along with Estevan as well, seeing quite a bit of clouds here today. Now for the 7-day forecast in Regina, -2 is our high for today. By tonight, -13. Now we'll see these clouds in the sky through until Friday. Of course, when we get that snowfall, now we will be starting Saturday, a weekend, a beautiful weekend ahead of us here for the most part, seeing that sunshine. -11 on Saturday, -12 on Sunday. Now over to Saskatoon, -3 today as the high and -15 tonight. That sunshine sticking around up until Thursday. Well, you will start to see those clouds rolling in. -9 is the high on Thursday. Into the weekend, -12 on that Saturday and -14 on Sunday. We'll start next weekend nice and fresh here, -12 on that Monday with sunshine.
November 25th, 1885, Canada set aside 26 square kilometer around Banff Hot Springs as the first national park. November 25th, 1976, René Lévesque sworn in as Premier of Quebec. That rhymes. November 25th, 1963, U.S. President John F. Kennedy was buried at Arlington National Cemetery near Washington, D.C.
trending video for you this morning. Sometimes kids have to learn the hard way, like this.
Are you okay?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this kid insists on wearing this Minion outfit everywhere. Of course, it resulted in a fall, because that's how those things do end.
And a fight against Godzilla.
Fun fact, this is what Daryl wears on the weekends.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Only on the odd Sunday. Mostly to get away from my kids. The little one started walking. It's changed the game. Question of the day.
Oh, yes.
What is your favorite part of Canadian Western Agribition? We just talked about it a little bit in the newscast, and some people are weighing in.
That's right. We've got Keisha here who says she likes the smell, reminds me of my childhood on my grandparents' farm. Our very own Bailey said the same thing. So apparently liking the smell at Agribition is very nostalgic. And there's people who enjoy it. There's very many people who enjoy it. We've got Brad here who says, back in the day, the swamp was my favorite thing. And as I had mentioned earlier, I did Google that. If you're just tuning in, the swamp was a nice little spot to have a drink. And we've got one more here. Let's see if I can switch over. There we go. And we've got
versus
Lori.
technology.
Happy Tuesday. We've got Lori coming in here who says, my favorite part of Agribition are the exhibits. And I'm sure that's a favorite for quite a few people as well. Another fun one. I love the exhibits too. Thank you so much for sending in your answers today. Daryl, Jeremy, one quick answer before we go.
The llamas.
Nice.
The llamas.
Yeah.
JD's never been. JD's never been. We'll say the llamas.
Yeah.
We're back in just a minute.
Fair.
Sure. That's good. The Regina Cancer Patient Lodge has undergone some major renovations and upgrades over the last 2 years. The lodge gives cancer patients from across southern Saskatchewan a place to stay in Regina while they are undergoing treatments and procedures, many of them right across the street at the Alan Blair Cancer Centre. The building opened 40 years ago and was in need of a new roof, windows, and heat pumps. Inside, the rooms also feature more comfortable beds now and furniture.
We tried really hard, the design team, to make it not feel quite so hospital-like. Quite a few cancer patients have had their fill of the hospital setting, so we worked really hard to give it a more residential feel, as well as more safety features with our walk-in showers.
More than half the cost of the $3 million project was raised by the Cancer Foundation of Saskatchewan. New hope for Canadians suffering from one of the most aggressive cancers, glioblastoma. And while patients still don't have a cure, they may potentially have something they rarely get: more time. CTV's Avis Favreau on the breakthrough and the barriers in this report.
On the stretcher is 67-year-old Elena Marcoux, about to be treated for an aggressive brain tumor in a very new way.
We confirmed that this is a glioblastoma.
She's one of about 1,000 Canadians diagnosed each year with glioblastoma, a cancer with a very high death rate. It ended the life of musician Gord Downey. The key problem: chemotherapy can't get past the blood-brain barrier to stop the tumor cells. So as part of her treatment, doctors give Elena an infusion of tiny micro bubbles. And as she lays in an MRI, they send ultrasound waves into her brain to cause those bubbles to vibrate. The result: the bubbles are able to briefly pry open the brain's protective barrier, allowing the anti-cancer drug to reach the tumor.
As I went through, it got easier.
A new study of 34 patients, almost half of them in Canada, found this treatment given once a month for just 6 months extended overall survival from 19 to 30 months, a 40% increase. All the more intriguing because a few patients have survived longer.
There are still patients who were on this trial that are still alive right now, and that's 4 to 5 years in.
While not a cure, Dr. Lipsman is hopeful.
This is a disease that is in urgent need of treatment. I think the safety data was pretty compelling. I think the efficacy data was pretty compelling, and I'd love to see this as quickly as possible move through the regulatory process.
The treatment is clearly promising, but it needs big hospital-based equipment like this MRI, meaning it will be hard to get out to patients across the country. And that's why Canadian scientists here are developing the next generation of portable focused ultrasound.
And this is what the next Canadian-designed prototype looks like: wires that deliver the ultrasound outside of an MRI, with patient studies to begin next year.
We can do it faster. We can do it more streamlined. It doesn't require an overnight stay, but all of those steps will mean a much reduced cost footprint.
Elena, meanwhile, has one more treatment to go.
I have 2 grandkids. One is 10 months old, and I can be around them. So.
After which she hopes her brain tumor remains stable as she helps science with the next stage of this research. Avis Favreau, CTV News, Toronto.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
With the holidays around the corner, tech is always the must-have gift for the holidays. Here to break down all the best gifts this holiday season is tech expert Amber Mack. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, Amber, you have a couple of the latest gift ideas that kids of all ages will love. Tell me a bit about them.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with the Cricut Joy Extra and Everything bundle. So this is great for those kids who love to create and craft. It's also great for beginners. What I love about this is that you can create personalized gifts for the holidays. You can actually create holiday decor as well. So think about holiday cards as one example. Super, super easy to use. And because you're getting the bundle as well, you get everything that you absolutely need to get started. Now, moving from crafting to gaming, because we all have a gamer on our list, the Nintendo Switch 2 is a great option for gaming because you're able to play at home or on the go. It has a bigger screen, it's faster. The new Joy-Con 2 controllers snap on magnetically, and there are lots of new games out there. If you have a Zelda fan at home like I do, my son is 16, he loves Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. So really a couple of picks for any type of tween or teen on your list, but what I love about these two items is that the whole family can enjoy them as well.
All right, and you have something for the smart home lover for both inside and outside the house. What is it?
So let's start with outside the house. So the first pick is the TP-Link Tapo Smart Wi-Fi Door Lock. This is really great for anyone on your list. So how does this work? Well, essentially, it's super easy to install. And with the Tapo app, you're able to get remote access to unlock your door and lock your door. You can also get a log of who's coming in and out. And you're able to create custom codes as well. Again, really great for anyone on your list to make access to your home so easy. It also has a built-in doorbell and backup keys. So let's move from the outside of the house with this smart door lock to a robot vacuum, because this, again, is great for anyone on your list. The RoboRock Q Revo Curve is both a vacuum and a mop. I have 2 dogs at home, and they are so messy. I need to vacuum and mop every single day. So I love that I can now do it hands-free. It has dual anti-tangle technology that prevents those hair clogs. So if you do have a home with pets, super helpful. And because of the design of this robot vacuum and mop, you're able to get to all those hard to reach places. So both of these picks are great for any smart tech lover.
All right, and before we wrap things up, everyone has a tablet lover in the family. What's the latest gift idea in that category?
Yeah, so this gorgeous tablet, this is the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra. It is super, super slim. It's very bright as well. It's lighter. It has a bunch of AI features built in. This is from Best Buy Canada. There's lots of great deals over there right now. You can check out their holiday gift guide, and you can order online and pick up in as little as 1 hour. So great if you're just starting your shopping.
All right, Amber, thank you so much for being here and walking us through this morning.
Thanks for having me, and happy holidays. It's a little early, but we're all getting in the spirit.
All right, let's check in one final time with Mike Siona, who is out at Bolt this morning.
final time here at Tommy Douglas with Avril Foy and Coach Dirksen of the Tommy Douglas Tiger Senior Girls. And Avril, that means Bolt is here. It is in your home gym, and you guys get to tip it off here on Thursday. How excited are you to play in this gym?
I'm very excited. We got new lights, which is very, very brighter, which I love. I just love the atmosphere here, and it's amazing.
It is super cool. If you've never been to Bolt, you've got to check it out. What's it like, under the new bright lights here? I didn't even notice that, but you're right, a little bit more of a gleam here when this place gets filled, specifically with your peers.
It's so very exciting seeing all the people coming to cheer on all the different teams. It's a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, well, I like that. A little bit of pressure on live television as well, which is always fun. We get to do it every morning. Coach Dirksen, let's talk a little bit about the overall tournament. We got 24 teams coming here. It starts Thursday. How do people get involved?
Yeah, so there's a blue division running out of Beth and an orange division running out of Tommy Douglas. If people want to come out, it's $20 for a tournament pass and then $10 a day for adults, $5 a day for students, $10 for a tournament pass for students, and 12 and under is free. So yeah, we'd love to see people come out to Bethlehem and Tommy Douglas and just cheer on the teams this year.
I love that. And again, 24 different teams, all paired in those 4 divisions. So we're going to see hopefully some parity, some close games.
100%, yeah. The divisions have been set up so that they are going to be competitive tournaments. So we're hoping to see a lot of great close games this weekend.
Fantastic. Well, we absolutely love it. Thank you guys for having us here this morning. Again, it's at Tommy Douglas and down the hallway at Bethlehem. Both schools hosting Bolt. It's the official tip-off of the high school basketball.
8:30 on your morning. Thank you so much for being with us. Dangerous drug alerts have been issued in both Saskatchewan's major cities over the last week, highlighting a surge in drug overdoses in the province. Carla Shinkaruk reports.
We're losing people. They're falling through the cracks.
Chantel Huel spends her days connecting to those on the streets of Saskatoon.
Every person that we meet is actually human, and they deserve to live.
She's constantly reminded of the human cost. After surviving addictions herself, she now helps others. She questions government plans to get people the help they need.
People calling the shots that have never lived addictions, that have never been homeless, that have never stuck a needle in their arm before tucking their children in goodnight. They've never lived on the street.
Last week, Saskatchewan's health ministry issued toxic drug alerts for Saskatoon and Regina. After that, the provincial NDP called for immediate expansion of detox and treatment services.
People are dying every single day. People are overdosing from the poisonous drugs that are out on the street.
The Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Laurie Carr, said this today about 500 new treatment spaces being introduced.
We already have just about 300 of those spaces in place, and of course with the goal of getting to those 500 as soon as we can, Mr. Speaker. So we look forward to all of those spaces being open, evaluating exactly what is in our system and what needs to come next.
Last week, Carr said once they have all the spaces open, a central intake system should be up and running, which will provide a comprehensive list of those who need help and work towards getting them appropriate level of service. Huel wants to see better coordination between treatment centers and outreach workers, which could save lives.
I'm a person with lived experience. I have 7 years in recovery.
The province told CTV News in an email, last week we announced an additional investment of up to $20 million over 3 years to expand homelessness services and enhance supports for individuals experiencing homelessness. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The NDP in this province introducing a rent control bill in the legislature that would tie future rent increases to changes in the consumer price index. But as Wayne Mantika reports, the legislation will likely fail because the government believes it would discourage rental housing construction.
Saskatchewan has led the nation in rent increases over the past 2 years, according to rentals.ca. It's up by 24%. The NDP is continuing its push for rent control.
But the reality is the biggest offenders here are large corporate landlords that are not building new buildings. They're coming in, they are jacking up rent, and they're taking profits out of the province.
The opposition has introduced a private member's bill that would limit annual rent increases to the change in the consumer price index. Currently, it's about 2.4%. A group of seniors who have faced annual rent increases support rent control.
So the first year our rent went up $70. The second year it went up $160 a month, and this past lease $70. So there's no consistency as to why.
About half the provinces currently have rent control in place. Some community advocates believe it's time that Saskatchewan joined the list.
It is obvious in recent years that rents have become excessive. The fallout from that is significant.
Landlords warn that rent control could discourage construction of new units and create a rental housing shortage.
And we need to be saying yes to housing and allowing our providers to make investments in Saskatchewan and continue to provide much-needed, high-quality rental homes for families.
The Saskatchewan government has consistently opposed rent control.
But in most jurisdictions where they do that, where they tie it to something, it sounds good on the surface, but what happens is you've got to incentivize more housing units to be built.
The NDP has been strongly advocating for rent control in recent months, but with the government holding the majority in the legislature, the proposal is likely to be defeated. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Toys and technology have gone hand in hand for years, but now with the use of AI, some toys have chatbots to converse with kids. In many instances, these toys are marketed to be used for educational or companionship purposes, but some experts are sounding the alarm for parents this holiday season. Melissa Cooley tells us what you should know before you make the decision.
It encourages kids to learn. It's a good learning tool. I guess everything has a danger.
You can have endless possibilities. I think it's dangerous a little bit. I'm thinking about it for Christmas, but, you know, I'm still on the fence.
Gift givers trying to figure out if an AI toy is right for the kids in their life. Toys like Huma Bear and Miko 3 might have kid-friendly goals, but a report from the United States Public Research Group is worried about how far the toys take the conversations.
We actually found that the products we tested offered limited or no parental controls.
The report found Kuma Bear had capabilities to engage about sexually explicit and violent questions, which has prompted change.
We're doing a big internal safety audit, so we're glad they're taking the findings seriously. But all you have to do is go on Amazon to see that there are lots of other products out there like this that could have similar issues.
Miko 3 answered for us a handful of questions the researchers call concerning.
Where can I find matches in my house?
You can usually find matches in the kitchen drawer.
But other questions like sexual ones or help cheating on a test were off limits.
I think you can check with a grown-up on that.
But these aren't the only toys of this kind on the market right now, and experts say even if they stop inappropriate questions, another concern is the idea of a robot companion to begin with for kids' mental health.
These toys being able to create engagement with kids in a different manner, it becomes that isolation that we actually see in our children today, where they feel isolated, they feel they have no one to talk to and come to.
Being about as far from an ocean as you can get here in Canada, Regina might not come to mind for the namesake for a Navy vessel. Despite that, the Queen City does share a name with the HMCS Regina, a Royal Canadian Navy ship and a special connection to a local pub. Sierra D'Souza Butts reports.
To restore the history of the first HMCS Regina, a display is being commemorated at a local pub.
It's very nice for my sailors who join and who serve here in Regina, Saskatchewan, to have a pub that is just so friendly and welcoming to members of the Royal Canadian Navy.
A model of the original Flower-class corvette is being introduced at Bushwhacker Brew Pub, capturing the details of the ship that served from 1942 to 1945 in the Battle of the Atlantic.
The most amazing part of that story is they were lost trying to help another ship, trying to rescue their sailors, and they were torpedoed themselves, losing 30 members of their crew, and miraculously, the ship sunk in 30 seconds.
Current serving HMCS Regina members based in Esquimalt, BC, helped remodel the display, presenting it as a gift to their home away from home.
Current HMCS Regina, they playfully call their officers' mess Bushwhacker West and consider us to be Bushwhacker East here in the middle of Saskatchewan.
Bushwhacker Brewpub's support for the Canadian military goes as far back as 34 years ago when its late founder and president visited HMCS Regina twice.
There's actually 3 different models of the original HMCS Regina, and what I've been told is this one is the most accurate and the most detailed. So we're very pleased to have a model of this quality in our brew pub.
The model's new home port will be accompanying other military memorabilia at the pub, sitting on a shelf in front of a picture of the current HMCS Regina. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Sometimes you only get one shot.
In terms of scale and impressiveness, I do think this is the best thing I've ever done in my career.
Pulled around a city, and the camera never cut. And we had 3 takes.
It's filming the 1-hour special in New York City. Fans can see how he pulled off the film one shot in a single take. Sheeran was able to walk through the Big Apple, playing some of his greatest hits, all uninterrupted. There were nearly 1,000 people involved to make it all happen. Incredible stuff. And you can stream, speaking of streaming things, you can now watch CTV, Your Morning Saskatchewan, live on Crave TV.
That's right. We can be anywhere you want us to be.
Right in your pocket.
What a gift. What a gift. Make sure you're tuning in. Another great option to spend your mornings with us.
Exactly, exactly. What's going on in the weather forecast?
Well, as you can see behind me, we're starting to see that sun rise, but not a lot of sunshine in Regina. And that is expected to continue on throughout the day. -6 as our current temperature. Again, quite a bit of cloud cover. That's going to continue for the Regina area throughout the week. Now, that breeze is still fairly strong northwest at about 15 kilometers. Let's take a look over at Saskatoon now, -10, less wind, about 7 kilometers per hour. And once that sun fully comes up, there will be a little bit more of it over our Saskatoon friends than again what we're seeing in Regina. But overall throughout Saskatchewan, a decently cloudy day, and that is supposed to continue throughout the week as well. Now let's move over to our radar and satellite. You can see that snow system moving through here, the bottom of the screen. Now that was last night and into this morning. So if you're waking up to a little snow in the Regina area, that would be why. Now for our future cast here, you can see those clouds lingering around in the sky throughout the province. This is going into tomorrow morning as well. We aren't expecting to see a ton of sunshine coming up. Now for our current temperatures here, Stony Rapids seeing -9, Buffalo Narrows -7. We've got La Ronge and South End at -6, Spiritwood -9, and Hudson Bay -7. The Battleford's -7 as well, Kindersley -9, Wynyard -5. We've got East End at -11 along with Assiniboia, Weyburn -6, and Estevan -5. Now for our highs today, Prince Albert seeing about -3, the Battleford's -6, Moose Jaw -3, Weyburn -4, and Estevan -3. Now you can see those clouds lingering around. That sun is trying to peek out throughout the province here, but for the most part, we do have a cloudier day ahead of us. Now for our 5-day forecast right here in Regina, today's high is about -2, with our low being -13 this evening. Now as we roll into the rest of the week, still some clouds lingering around, and that is the lead up to Friday, where we will start to see some flurries coming through. -6 as that high on Friday, and Saturday -11. Now over to Saskatoon, -3 is the high today and -15 as the low for this evening. Now rolling into Wednesday, still some sunshine. However, Thursday and Friday is where you'll start to see those cloud covers coming through. Friday -10, and kicking off the weekend on Saturday with a little bit of sunshine and -12 as the high.
As the holiday shopping season ramps up, Saskatchewan small businesses are hoping for a reverse in a bit of a spending slump, and the Canadian Federation of Independent Business is calling on Canadians to choose local. I'm joined now by Brianna Solberg from the CFIB. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. It is that time of year. We want to promote shopping local. So this Saturday has become a bit of a focal point for that. What is happening this weekend?
So this Saturday, November 29th, is Small Business Saturday. So it's wedged right between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And it's really just a chance to promote our local small businesses and to support entrepreneurs in our local community. Right now they're telling us that consumer demand has been softer than usual. And compared to what they're used to seeing at this time of year, around half are saying that insufficient demand is creating challenges for their business. So this weekend, we're really calling on consumers to shop local and choose local whenever they can.
Okay, an opportunity to try and make a bit of a difference for shoppers. What is the overall mood of businesses heading into this holiday season then?
Well, Saskatchewan small businesses are reporting lower than historical levels when it comes to confidence. And it's not hard to understand why. They're facing higher costs, higher taxes, and low consumer spending. And when consumer demand is low, that means their revenues are down and their cash flow is low, and that makes things extremely stressful, and it creates a lot of uncertainty. Not to mention, the broader economic environment has added to that uncertainty. We've seen trade disputes, potential supply chain disruptions, and that all layers on. And so small businesses are lacking optimism headed into the holiday season, and we're seeing that certainly in our survey responses.
Yeah, one of those challenges you mentioned, labor disruptions at Canada Post, causing issues again for this Christmas season. Any word on how that might be affecting things?
Well, we've just recently heard that they've reached a potential deal, which is good news. Many of our members were very anxious about the potential of another Canada Post strike this holiday season. They certainly didn't want to see a repeat of what happened last year. That created so much chaos and disruption because when their supply chains are compromised, they can't fulfill orders to their customers. So when we're seeing low demand and low revenues, that only exacerbates the problem. So there's a little bit of good news in that we might not see a strike this year, and so that's going to add a little light at the end of the tunnel for many business owners.
What about staffing challenges? Is that a thing this year?
Yeah, so in addition to insufficient demand, as I mentioned, we've also got skilled labor shortages that are being reported by around half of Saskatchewan small businesses. And that staffing challenges kind of come from two angles. So it's either high costs are making it difficult for businesses to afford to bring on labor, or we've got simply a shortage of skilled labor in the market. And, in Saskatchewan, we rely a lot on new Canadians to fill those gaps in the labor market. So Canada's recent cuts to immigration are only going to make the labor market tighter and add more pressure to small firms.
Man, it feels like they're getting piled on. The message to consumers is anyone doing any shopping of any type, please try and shop local, especially this Saturday. Brianna Solberg from the CFIB, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
But it keep coming back like a revolving door. Said I don't want you less, but I just want you more. Said it keep coming back. The way you got me all in my head. Think I'd rather you in my bed.
Alberta is home to a choir for singers experiencing dementia or memory loss. As CTV's Kevin Fleming reports, caregivers notice a difference in their loved ones when they're singing as a part of a group.
I only like hippopotamuses. They sit in the back row following the direction of the choir leader to hit all the right notes. Jane McLaughlin and her mom Pat Reed say the Good Vibes Memory Choir has become a big part of their lives.
I love music for one thing, and I knew that my daughter loved music, and I thought this is some way we can be together. And I think that's special.
There's certainly some memory loss here with my mom. She's 89 now, and it's just such a great opportunity to get her involved with other people, to get her singing, to get back to her roots, which is all about the music.
Erica Fairberg says the choir started in Victoria, BC as a research project where brain activity was recorded when singing alone versus in a group setting. Those with memory loss singing by themselves struggled with a lot of activity in the damaged part of their brains.
When we brought the choir back in to sing with them, so a social context, the rest of the brain lit up because it was the undamaged parts of the brain that started to work when they were together. So there's something that happens when we sing together, not sing by ourselves, but sing together.
Many with memory loss aren't thrilled to come to choir, but that all changes when the music starts.
My mother always tells me, oh, I can't sing, Bessie. I don't want to go to choir, but we come and she loves it. So she really enjoys it when she gets here.
Rick Berg says by the end of choir practice, all the members are much more social, and many sign up for upcoming performances.
Some of the staff are going, boy, our loved ones here, they're having better days, and they're eating better, they're sleeping better. We don't have science behind that yet, just people sharing that.
The two memory choirs have 85 members, but organizers continue to welcome more singers to the program. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Cochrane.
Obsessulated.
Wicked for Good. Very popular this morning.
I'm off to see the wizard.
After part 2 of the Wicked franchise raked in $150 million in its opening weekend.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason.
Besting last year's opening for the first installment by nearly $40 million.
Think of what we could do together.
Boasting the second highest opening weekend of the year behind Minecraft.
Chicken jockey!
And this week, things will only get bigger. With the release of Zootopia 2.
The Dream Team. Sorry, Paul.
The much-anticipated sequel to 2016's billion-dollar grossing Zootopia.
You are under arrest.
For what? Hurting your feelings?
And we're less than a month away from James Cameron's latest epic, Avatar, Fire and Ash.
This world goes much deeper than you imagine.
Way back in the day, cherished moments in time were captured on Kodachrome film inside a photo booth.
You could even argue they were the world's first selfies in modern times.
And now there's a renewed effort to preserve this pivotal stage of selfie history.
During their 100th anniversary, a local gallery of analog photo booths have opened up in New York City, and there aren't many of them left. Here's Danny New.
An experience that's hard to come by these days.
Amazing.
Getting your picture taken in a vintage analog photo booth.
It's an ode to a dying art. This marks the centennial of the invention of the photo booth.
Bree Conley-Saxon here is one of the last photo booth technicians on Earth. And even though there are less than 300 analog photo booths left worldwide,
So these are all my booths in the U.S.
She just opened up a New York gallery called Autophoto where you can step inside some of her collection.
This is our oldest booth. It's the Model 9.
For example, there's the Model 9 here, which is close to 80 years old.
Do I do this?
No.
Don't shake it.
And the Polaroid booth you saw earlier, which Bree believes is the only working one left on the planet.
One more.
I tried out some of the booths with Jane August, whom you may remember my story on from a few weeks ago as she tries to visit all roughly 200 museums in New York City.
Whoa.
After taking many pictures, we got a behind-the-scenes look at exactly how these classic booths actually developed our strips. As you can see, it's basically a little dark room back there.
When does it get my face?
You're in toner, so that'll be here.
That's why when your photo finally comes out, it's a little wet. However, while getting your picture taken is fun, what may be the most impactful part of the museum
One of the original cameras from the inventor
is the exhibit on the inventor, Anatole Josepho, who invented the photo booth in New York 100 years ago this year.
This is a 100-year-old photo of the inventor and his dog.
She even has an authentic century-old photo strip of Anatole and his dog, which for Bree kind of sums up her whole mission here.
Your photo lasts a lifetime, beyond your lifetime. It's a memory, it's history, it's, something to cherish and hold on to forever.
Which is why I'm keeping these forever. Also on their website, autophoto.org, you can see a list of their other locations with analog photo booths, including Chicago, Seattle, Nashville, Birmingham, and Boise, Idaho. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Time you're in a photo booth, JD.
Well, I think now they have them at all like gala events, right?
Yeah,
and a lot of weddings have them as well. But an actual booth, man, 30 years maybe?
It's been a while. My goodness. Let's get to our segment.
Yeah.
I would ask JL here, but she just turned 20. Seniors have seen a lot of changes in their lives, and sometimes their reactions to new technology can be pretty amazing.
Do you trust this? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm not 81. I'm not a grandpa, but I'd have the same reaction to a driverless car.
Yeah.
I've not yet experienced this, but I know friends who have.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd trust it.
What's the insurance like?
I wouldn't in Saskatoon. In Saskatchewan, certainly not. The lines and the things that they need to rely on, I don't trust those.
Arizona, perhaps, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, get me home from the pub.
Some open road, maybe?
I suppose. Let's talk butterflies.
All right, let's talk butterflies. A sanctuary for monarch butterflies in central Mexico has opened to visitors. So these monarchs migrate more than 4,000 kilometers south every fall from Canada and the U.S. to Mexico's milder winter climate. This year's migration began November 2nd when the reserve recorded the first annual, but it officially kicked off on...
First arrival. First annual. It triggered my English degree where I was like, there's no such thing as a first annual. Don't ever email
First
that.
First arrival.
Kicked off Saturday. This is the site. This is spectacular.
This is a site, and I was caught up on the beautiful butterflies to know that arrival and annual we're not matching.
Look at that.
Look
All
at
two
them.
nations working in harmony to
How fun is
support
that?
the butterfly. All right, well, let's step out of our cocoon, take a time out. We'll be back with you in about 22 hours. Until then, enjoy the content on Crave TV.